Shall we dance?
Ah, gladly. Thank you. Sláinte.
I know it's been a long time, and I know you've missed him very much. Please, Rachel, be careful.
When will Rory and I ever hear?
Oh, woman. Woman, what are you trying to do to me?
You know what?
No. It's not just Eamon. Your fine doctor from England said the same thing.
Oh, Rory, if I'm prepared to risk it, why won't you?
Oh, woman, will you stop tormenting me? It's not a game.
No, it's not a game. Rory, don't take this from our life together. If you do, I'll die in a different way. You've always been my lover as well as my husband.
No, we've no choice. We've no choice. Do you think I don't want it as much as you do?
Just once. Oh, my darling, when you went away last time, I thought I'd never see you again. And now you're home and safe. Rory, let me hold you in my arms tonight, please.
Haven't I enough debts in my conscience already? I'll not add yours. You better bring me up to date. How's business?
Well, I'm thinking you didn't pick the best time to inherit a powder mill.
We did well during the war.
Ah, but the government doesn't pay. Maureen, will you bring the book over, show Mr. Manion? She helps me in the office now. She's a fine little writer and grand with the sums, too.
Thank you.
Which is more than I ever was.
Very neat.
Thank you, Mr. Manion.
If the government doesn't pay up soon, we shan't have enough money for the wages.
Well, we haven't as it is. I've had to lay men off already.
If we don't get any more orders, we should be out of business.
Oh, Maureen, me darling, would you step over to the house and fetch me pipe, please?
Oh, yes, Father.
I think I left it by the fireplace.
Jim, your mischievous little girl has turned into quite a beautiful young lady.
Ah, she's a grand little girl. Don't know what I'd have done without her since Molly died.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell her everything, you know. Listen, Rory, I think I found a customer for our powder.
What sort of customer?
The best. I've not been idle while you went gallivanting off to your honor and glory. We've a fine little bunch of Fenians here in Philadelphia. Now, there's a top man coming from Ireland, named Seamus O'Doherty. I want you and Eamon to meet him.
Is there any more to it than just talk?
Talk? They're planning a rising. And you're the man to make sure that it happens. They need the powder.
And can they pay for it?
Pay? Did you pay for Lord Fitzmaurice's carriage when you bust me out of Galway barracks? Oh, where's Rory the fire eater?
Even a turf fire smoulders out at last if you kick it long enough. It's all right, you old rebel. I'll come to your Fenian meeting. When is it?
Tonight. I'll get in touch with Eamon. Was in my pocket all the time.
You said British agents have been on its heels ever since he landed.
Ah, don't worry. He's an old hand at this. Anyway, he deals with
He'll show them the sights of Philadelphia before he gives them the slip.
Up the rebels.
Glory, this is Seamus Doherty. So you're Manion. Or should I say, oh, Manion?
Gave me no pleasure to drop the O. It has served a purpose. This is Jim O'Brien, who you know, Harry Brannan, and this is...
Yes, well, it's best without too many introductions. They're what landed me in that bloody English prison.
Right you are.
Right. The first thing I want to make quite clear is that the orders come from Ireland, and we expect them to be obeyed.
We just fought a war over here and we won it. If you think...
That was a different kind of war.
Yeah, well, I built...
Don't give me all that Battle of Gettysburg stuff.
Look, Doherty, if you just came here to...
That's enough, Sam.
It would give the British no greater pleasure than to see the Fenians in Ireland and the Fenians in America divided.
Then divided we'll be, Manion. For if there's to be a rising in Ireland, we'll decide where and when it shall be.
Sit down. Mr. Doherty. Much obliged to you. We know what's happened at home during the famine and since. You think there's one of us here who doesn't know or care? 4 million people starved or fled. And those that were left were too weak and too frightened to raise their heads. We want to believe there's a chance, but we have to know the truth, or we're all dead men. I'm asking you, Doherty, is it time?
You do your part, and we'll make it time.
I can lay my hands on 2,000 guns, strictly legal. Government surplus.
But we need men to fire the guns. Have you the men?
We have the length and breadth of Ireland, and they're ready. What we need from you is powder.
I don't know whether I can handle that much powder by myself. It's going to take an awful lot of money.
I hear America's a rich country.
Mr. Doherty. We're Irish patriots over here, but we're not idiots. America's just had a terrible war. We'll need time to recover.
I can see you're a fine patriot.
He is. Don't you say otherwise. He'd be a rich man now if it wasn't for the fact that as soon as he could lay his hands on some money, he filled a ship with food, sent it to Ireland.
They tell me you have an English wife. How did she feel about that?
She saw every sack and cask aboard. So we'll leave my wife out of this, if you please. I'll let you know about the powder.
He's not the man you told me.
Maureen.
You said you wanted a list of all the stocks we had. Here it is.
Thanks. Look out.
Did you get that order you went after?
I'm not sure. Here's what they want. I don't know if they can afford it or not, but, well, we'll wait and see.
Will I do a costing on it?
Leave it this morning. Listen, tell me, do I pay you for all this work here?
No, I do it for love.
Indeed. Well. Then here's the first payment. Listen. There's no way for a respectable young lady to behave.
Who says I'm respectable?
I'll have you remember that I've known you since you were a child. I'll be off with you. Go on. Before your father has my liver for breakfast. Go on.
I'll have those figures for you tomorrow evening.
Any word from David?
No, nothing. I'm sure he'll be arriving in a moment. You still have no idea what his surprise might be.
Perhaps he's getting married.
Indeed. I hope so. There he is.
David! Rachel, my dear.
How wonderful that you're back. My heavens, how you've changed.
I'm sorry I'm so dreadfully late.
Oh, no, we've all been waiting. Come in.
Rory.
Hello, David.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Mr. Clement. Deirdre. Rachel. I hope you don't mind. I brought an extra guest for dinner. This is John Carpenter. I found him in a prisoner of war camp in Richmond. I thought you'd like to see him.
I do.
How do you do? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm Mrs. Manion, Rachel Manion, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Staunton, and my husband, Major Manion. Oh, Sharon, you're home. It's Deirdre.
Ma'am, I don't believe we met.
Oh, David, thank you.
Deirdre, how could you do something like this without as much as a warning?
Caleb, are you blaming David for bringing Sean home to us?
I'm sorry, but I really didn't expect Deirdre to be here.
Sean.
Well, I didn't want to warn you in advance, in case you saw something more than there was. I had to be sure that you saw the same family likeness that I did.
Likeness? What did you call yourself? John? You know that's the English for Sean.
No, sir, I didn't know.
No, not sir. I'm Rory. Rory. And you're my brother Sean.
Oh, I've waited many years for this day. Now we're together, we can lick the world, eh?
How long you fellas been working? Can't you figure out a better way?
Here you go. Come on.
Over here and
Yep. Jim.